Hi, this is Edgardo, your Vice President Public Relations. As you may know, last Saturday took place a meeting at Deloitte's headquarters to train the new Toastmasters officers. Of course, I did attend the public relations training. Sadly, this training took place very early in the morning. As you probably know, Edgardo is not an early man, and I don't wake up completely until noon. Therefore, I was not in time for the session, and I lose part of my training. I know it is my bad, and I am sorry about it. Now I can only imagine what has been taught before my arrival. So I made it up in my mind, and this is what I came with. I shall call it Marketing 101. The first thing I was supposed to learn in this session is that marketing equals salesmanship. The difference is that while salesmanship usually means selling one to one, marketing is multiplied salesmanship. It is selling not to one single person but selling to many people at the same time. Marketing is divided in two main parts: traffic and conversion. Traffic is just what it sounds like. How many people walk through your establishment, or how many people read your ad, or maybe how many people visit your web page. If you have a hot dog stand in some street, traffic is how many people walk through that street and are able to see your stand. Conversion means that a person gets into your business or establishment and converts into a customer or becomes a client. For your hot dog stand, your conversion rate is how many people of those who walk through your street actually stop to buy a hot dog. For most businesses, a conversion rate of 30% is considered good. For gaining new clients or new members in Toastmasters, we need to do some marketing. We need traffic, which means that we need to get people into our meeting room, and we also need conversions, which means that once people get into our meeting room, we have to convert them into new members. As Vice President Public Relations, my job is to generate traffic, to have many people visiting our club. Converting people is the job of the Vice President membership, and she is the one that will close the deal. To generate traffic, there are a couple things I must do. First, let people know about the existence of our club, and second, inform people of the benefits they will get by joining our club. Therefore, I have to create interest in people. In fact, I have to create an interest strong enough to make them come to our session. I have to motivate them. Motivation is a word that is rooted in the Latin word motum, which means movement. The word motive is defined as something that prompts a person to act. This word is very close to the word incentive. In marketing, it is usually accepted a distinction between the two words. Motivation is used to define something that compels you to do something from the inside of you, while incentive is used to define something that makes you act from the outside. An example of a motive is the desire to be loved, which might be as strong as making a young man spend a ridiculously high amount of money to give his girlfriend a diamond in hope that she will love him forever. For this girl, the diamond is an incentive to make out with him. Another example of an incentive is the reward I am offering you. Now I will make a little parenthesis to talk about your reward a little bit. Now I want you to think just for a second. How many times have you been in a situation in which your income depended on your ability to communicate on paper? How many times have you been compelled to sell something by means of letters or emails? Well, you might believe you are not a salesperson. Maybe you are saying, I don't have to sell anything. I am a doctor or an accountant or a lawyer, and I make my living out of my profession. Guess what? Before you can perform surgery or calculate taxes, you need to have some clients. You have to convince people that you can solve their problems. You have to sell yourself as a product. If you are working for a corporation, you have to sell your boss the idea that you deserve a raise from time to time. If you are the owner of a business of any kind, you already know what I'm talking about. Eventually, you will have to send an email selling your product or your services, and the impression that this letter causes will be reflected on your income. Most likely, the response that you get from this letter will affect your way of life. Definitely, you need to obtain positive results. But, sadly enough, nobody teaches you how to write sales letters. So, the reward I am offering you, if you choose to help me, I will send you a copy, a scanned copy, of the very first book that was written to teach people how to write letters that sell. If you go through Amazon.com, you will see that a book that deals with this subject can reach a very high price, as high as $180. Now, what I am offering you is the book in which the other books on the subject are based. It is a classic and was written in 1909. Remember that back in the old days there were not internet, radio, TV, or telephones. Therefore, all the marketing had to be done through newspaper and sales letters. That's the reason for which these guys had to be so good in selling through written communication. Therefore, you will learn from the masters. As a little preview, I shall tell you that writing sales letters is not about grammar or style. You might be very bad in grammar and still make your sale. Writing sales letters is about the psychological insight that you need to persuade your reader. It is about sales psychology. Now, let me end this small parenthesis and proceed to explain what you have to do in order to obtain your ebook. We are not in the old days anymore, and we have radio, TV, and internet. In this day and age, it is easy for us to reach many people and deliver our message. As VP Public Relations, it is my duty and my job to take advantage of this media to bring traffic to our club. While TV is probably out of the question, radio is attainable, and internet is already available for us, and it is an easy way to deliver our message. What we need now is a good, clear, compelling message that brings attention, creates desire, and motivation for people to come to our club. First, of course, we need to know the motives for which people are actually joining Toastmasters. We need to know which specific problems can be solved by learning skills that can be acquired in Toastmasters. So, what I need from you is, number one, to know the motives that made you come to Toastmasters in the first place. Please think back in time and remember what made you come to our club. Remember that back then you were not concerned about any recognition or award, just because you didn't know about them. You never heard about any CC, CL, DTM, or CBA. So you were looking for something else. If you heard my last speech over the ruffian and the black belt, you'll easily get the point. Let's get my case as an example. Since I was a small child, I set two main goals in my life. The first one is to act in an X-rated movie. To accomplish it, I have to build my body. Therefore, I exercise and get plenty of sleep. That is my motivation for attending the gym. My second goal is, of course, to take over the world. which I cannot accomplish without public speaking abilities. Every world-class leader in history has been an accomplished speaker. That was my motivation for joining Toastmasters. But that's me. What I need to know is what were your motives for joining Toastmasters. The second thing I need from you is to know which specific benefits you have received for being in Toastmasters. For me, it has been the capacity to communicate effectively with people that have the same goals that I have. But in your case, I want something more specific. So, this is what I don't want from you. Answers like, I met new people, or worse than that, I met wonderful people. That is ass kissing. I don't want to know either that you have an increased ability to communicate or that you feel more confident. That is too abstract. What I want is something like my monthly income raised from 15,000 to 20,000 as a result of an increase in my ability to communicate with my clients. Or I was able to communicate effectively in a job interview and got hired. Or I opened a business based on my acquired leadership abilities. I need something specific that I can use as evidence. Preferably, I need to know which specific problems you have solved as a result of your Toastmasters experience. Now, if you feel like cheating and want to make it up, at least come up with something believable and entertaining if possible. So, here is the deal. Tell me your motives for joining Toastmasters and tell me about the benefits that you have received from being in our club. And I will send you a copy of the book How to Write Letters That Win. For the best and most complete answer, I shall add an interview with Joe Vitale, which is one of the best paid marketers in the world. You can either reply to my email or you can post your answer below if you are watching this video in YouTube. Take care and see you in our next session.